Hey everyone, Zach here, and welcome to the 7th lesson in this tutorial series, an introduction to Unreal Engine. In this video, we'll create a playable level. You are strongly advised to make your own levels and additional levels as you see fit. This level, which I will make, will be rather hard, in my opinion, for players. In addition, by making your own levels, you will get practice working with the editor. There is no additional reading provided for this lesson. However, as usual, the GitHub link for this week is provided in the description below. Also, feel free to laugh at me for struggling to complete my own level. That said, fire up your editor, open your project, and let's get started.
Alright, welcome back to the editor. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into level 2 real quick. And then in here, we're just going to create a new level, level 03. And at the end of this map, we're going to put another end level trigger. So get from your blueprints to your triggers and our end level. We're going to drag it there. Again, we're just going to scale it out so it covers the entire length of the box. And I switched my scaling by hitting spacebar, and then I hit spacebar again to go back. And we're going to switch to level 03. Now if we hit play from here, and walk into that point, it just brings us into this empty map. So, which we just fell for some reason. So let's go into our maps. Let's go into map 03. Actually hit cancel real quick. Control S, save everything. Now go into map 0, level 03. Now in here, I'm going to again search my sky sphere. I'm going to drag it in. And this time I'm going to set to 0, 0, 0. I'm going to grab my light. And this time I don't want it to be, sunny. Instead, I want it to be nighttime. So I'm going to grab my directional light. And I'm going to set again location to 0, 0, 0. Which it did not set properly because the accident set. There we go. And I'm going to rotate this using spacebar so that the beam is pointing nearly directly upwards. Go back to my sky sphere, add in my lighting component, and there we go. We have a nice misty kind of area. I like that for my start. I'm going to go into my environment, and I'm going to grab my platform. So let's drag this in. I'm going to set it to be at 0, 0, 0. And just switching to my scaling, to my movement ability there. I'm going to set this to 12, so we have a long runway. I'm going to set it to 2.5, so we have a bit of width. And I'm going to leave the Z as is. So we have a long platform. Alright, I'm going to get my player start for my basics. I'm going to put it at the beginning of the map there. I'm going to again put that on the y-axis of 0, so I'm centered. There we go. And I'm going to put an obstacle in the way at the very start here. So I'm going to line that up using my top perspective. I just want that to be on the Z. Actually, I didn't even need to go to top perspective. I could just go to Y and set that to 0. I'm going to go to my left perspective though and lower this so it's down here. And then I'm going to select my ending point and I'm going to raise it so that's up there. There we go. And going back to my obstacle, I'm going to set the movement speed to 500. Let's just hit play and see what that looks like. So that's a fairly fast moving obstacle. And I'm just going to drag this platform, holding Alt to duplicate it and drag it out here. There we go. And I'm going to reduce the length of this to 6. And I'm just going to drag it back. Remember, it's reducing from the center there. And let's make sure that I can actually make that jump. Alright, so that obstacle does get in the way, but it is not that hard of an obstacle to get around, so that's a good start. Let's just go back to our perspective mode. Actually, I'm going to go to top mode. And I'm going to take this cube, and I'm going to duplicate it by holding Alt and dragging over. In fact, if I drag and hold Shift, I'll move with it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to set it about there. And I'm going to reduce the scale of it in both the X and Y to 0.5. So it's a bit smaller. But I'm going to duplicate it and put one over here and another one over here. That way, again, we have a few obstacles. Ooh, I put it on the wrong side. So I'm going to drag these over. I should have been paying attention to where my player start is. And I'm going to hold my shift button so I can see where I'm going. And I'm going to put it about there. There we go. So we have really poor lighting right now, so it's hard to see them. But we'll fix the lighting up in a second. I'm going to take this platform, and I'm going to put a smaller version of it just on the other side of these cubes. I'm going to leave it butting up against them for a second. I'm going to reduce this to a size of 3. There we go. Actually, that's a good distance. So let's test that out. Jump over there. Jump over the next one. And trying to jump over those last cubes, I jumped too far. Probably should put my endpoint in about now. Ooh, that size looks weird. So we're going to select all 3 of these cubes again, and we're going to change the Z to 0.52. So they're little small, fast-moving cubes that get in our way. Alright, there's a small issue now when we change the Z size. It doesn't raise high enough, so we're going to go to our left point of view again. And we're going to select, actually, go to our top. And, actually, sorry, I lied to you. Go to your perspective view. You can see that's our endpoint there. We're going to select these 3 endpoints. So, actually, we'll delete 2 of these. We'll delete the corner 2 platforms real quick. Delete those. Grab this endpoint. And we're also going to slow down how fast it moves. So, select the sphere. Grab the endpoint and raise it up. Go to our left view for a second. I'm just going to lower it back down and do this from our left view. Raise it up to about there. Alright, now go back to top view. Alt, duplicate it over here. Sorry. Alt, duplicate it over there. If you had the same issue I did with the box is suddenly smaller, you've only duplicated the endpoint. And then duplicate again over there. Again, for all 3 of these, we're going to change our... Oh, we've duplicated the sky sphere as well. So delete the extra sky spheres if you've done what I've done. There we go. And select everything, remove the sky sphere from there, and change the movement speed to, say, 300. Alright. That was a bad jump on my part. Let's just decrease the distance between that so it's a bit more of an obstacle we have to get it past. It's actually better out further out over here apparently. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in another platform, and I'm just going to leave this one as the sorry, that's an obstacle. I'm going to leave this platform as the 1 meter cube. I'm just going to move it out there and set the Y to 0. And I'm going to duplicate this one and make a little bit of a pattern. I'm going to put one there and one about there. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them as traps. So I want to take all 3 of these. Actually, I'm going to delete 2 of them. I'm going to make the trap on one, and then I'm going to duplicate the trap over. So I know with my traps, I'm going to use this basic wall material. I'm going to get my trigger, and I'm going to put my drop trap on top of there. And I'm going to put the Y as 0. Going to scale it out by switching over that way. There we go. And let's go to my left view. Make sure it's nicely placed on top. It is. And I'm going to use the drop traps option of just the dropper here and select my platform. There we go. Now, let's go back to our top view. Let's select both of these and duplicate them. And drag the duplicate over here. And selecting this drop trap, I want to make sure it's on the right platform. So it's platform 5. And it's platform 5 underneath. Again, select both of them. Select both. Delete the extra sky sphere. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to hide the sky sphere so that can't happen. There we go. So now with click that eye, it hides it. With the sky sphere hidden, just drag this over And there we go. So now we have 3 drop traps, which means the player is going to have to make a quick choice on which way to go. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to duplicate this platform using Alt, dragging out again. And I'm going to line this platform up with this drop trap so that the one edge of it is on the same line as the other edge. I'm going to duplicate this one and drag it up there again so the outer edge is towards the inside of the trap. There we go. Now we're going to make this a little bit fun. Let's just hit play real quick and see what that looks like. So we come in, come around, you jump onto one of these, and ooh, those are too small. So let's increase the size of these. Let's increase the scale on both of them. There we go. Which means we need to move these further down. That's going to go there, and that's going to line up there instead. And we're going to delete these two. Yes, to all. And we're going to duplicate that over there instead. But before we do that, we're also going to delete the center drop trap. Yes, to all. And we're just going to duplicate that, drag that there, set the value to y of 0. And we are 2 boxes away. So 1, 2, that's 3 on this side. Move these to the appropriate spot. So 2 away. Select this platform and move it there. All right, let's try this now. All right, so they're a little bit too close. So we're going to move these out 3 away. So they're now 3 meters away. And that should give us enough room. In fact, to make life a little bit easier, we're not going to do all the jumping we just did a second ago. It looks this dark right now because we've hidden the sky sphere, so I'm just going to hit unlit to make this a little bit easier. And play from here. There we go. Alright, so still a little bit of an issue in terms of spacing, so we're going to drag all 3 of these a little bit further away. Okay, now we've done that, we'll go back to perspective. And we'll select this bit, play from here, jump onto the platform, jump onto the next platform, which I just barely missed, and there we go. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, I think those platforms are a little bit too close, so we're going to select this one and this one using shift, and we're just going to drag those out a little bit. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate these platforms and just drag these duplicates out. And I am actually, sorry, I lied to you. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to duplicate on one side, and we're going to reverse the other side in a second. So I'm going to delete that for now. I'm going to drag in a new obstacle. I'm going to put one here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my left mode for a second. Raise this up here. Just set it so it's nicely between the 2 of them, like that. And then go to my perspective mode and find that drop trap. Again, I'm going to reduce the size of this one to, actually I'm not going to reduce the size of it. I'm going to drag in another drop trap by duplicating this current one just above it. So I'm going to drag this up, put that there. I'm going to need a little bit of space between the 2 of them. Ooh, I made multiple copies of it by mistake. So I'm going to delete that, delete that. I was holding the Alt key down without paying attention. There we go. I want a little bit of space between them. I'm going to go back to top left mode. And I'm going to make a 3rd duplicate. And just going to have that same sort of spacing between them. Now, from my top point of view. Actually, sorry. I'm going to go to perspective. And I'm going to grab this middle one. And then I'm going to go to top. From my top point of view, I'm just going to move that over to this side. And I'm going to move it out so it's 1 box out, or 1 meter out from each side. Same with this side. I'm going to move these 2 cubes so they're 1 meter out on that side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my perspective mode, and I'm going to take the endpoint of this middle one, and I'm going to drag it so it's over here. Go to my top view for a second and line it up in the center there. There we go. I'm going to go back to my perspective, and I'm going to take this cube, this top cube here, grab the endpoint, go back to my top view, drag that over to here so it lines up with the other cube's start point. Go back to perspective and repeat for this bottom endpoint. As you can see, they're going to make a crisscrossing pattern there. So go back to my top view, drag that over there. There we go. And if I go back to my perspective and hit play from here, see how fast those are moving. I might be moving too quickly or too slowly because they're set to 20 each. There we go. Let's change that to, say, 250. And do play from here. So I have to wait for them to move. That platform is too close, so I'm just going to go back to my top view and move it out a bit further. So as you can see as I go, I'm just play testing every little bit to make sure it works. That should be far enough out. Go back to my perspective, and then let's try that one more time. Play from here. Wait from the cross. Almost got knocked out of the way. Cross back over. And let's make sure that it falls straight through. Good. Awesome. Next, I'm going to go back to my top view. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to drag this out a distance I know I can't jump. I hit duplicate twice by mistake there. Drag this out a distance I know I can't jump. And I'm going to set it to have 12. And again, a distance I know I cannot jump. Take my obstacle, and I'm going to set it on the center here of those two. And I'm just going to make the Y 2.5. There we go. It's not lined up with the other platform. Now it is. And a Z of 2.5 as well. And I'm going to take the end point of this platform, and I'm just going to move it over about there. That should be good enough. And I don't like the speed that's probably going to be at, so I'm going to set that to about 150 instead. And we'll test this out as well. So we'll do our play from here. Jump onto this moving platform. There we go. And jump onto this next bit. Okay, so next I'm just going to add in one more set of traps, which will be hopefully a little bit more challenging than what we currently have. This is all fairly simple stuff, but you know, you can add simple stuff in to make things more complex as things go, as you put, you know, say a drop trap and these obstacles in together, so people have to time things. In fact, that's what we'll do. We'll just take these three and we'll go to top view. We will duplicate them and drag them this way. There we go. And what we'll do, instead of just having them there, we're going to drag them a little bit further out. And we'll take our drop panel here, and we'll duplicate that and move this out that way as well. I'm holding shift down again to move the camera with the object. We're going to set this one to be 2.5 as well. There we go. And then take my platform, and then take the same drop platform and put it on the other side of the obstacles. Again, to make this a bit more challenging. So we go back to here in our perspective mode. We hit play from here. All right. Ooh, I needed to jump that, didn't I? I couldn't just walk over. Sorry about that. Hit play from here. Jump onto the obstacle. That's too close. So let's go back to our top view. Let's take all of this and just drag it a tiny bit further out. And then play from here. Ooh, and see, it's suddenly harder to do. I want to see this isn't too hard, so I'm going to do play from here again. Jump onto the platform, which I just missed for some reason. I'm jumping way too late. There we go. And now I'm going to ride the other platform down. Awesome. So, what I want to have in the center then is this other platform. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to duplicate it over. Now, in good form, because we have a lot of things in here, I should start organizing these in folders. And I can do that by right-clicking and putting in a folder, but we'll worry about that later on, if at all. Put that there. There we go. And now I want the other side of this obstacle course to be the reverse of what we have here. So that when people have to make a rapid choice, they might pick the harder one to do right after, which is really mean because there's 2 drop traps. Actually, there'd be 3 drop traps. Sorry, 4 drop traps. 1, 2, 3, 4, one right after the other. So, instead of doing that, what I'm going to actually have, I'm going to drag this out this way. And then do a duplicate over here, move that one to 0. And then I'm going to take everything on this side, so there aren't that many drop traps in a row. And I'm going to do Alt, drag these over here, and then I'm going to rotate them 180 degrees. If it'll let me. There we go, 180. Hit spacebar until we're back to this movable part, and then just line that up. There we go. So we now have, I'm going to also bring that out a tiny bit. Actually, we're going to make this a little bit difficult. We're going to drag that one out that way. So they have to jump sideways to get across. And likewise with this one, they have to jump a bit sideways to get across. There we go. And then I'm going to take this same platform. I'm going to unselect the player, start from the list there and the directional light. And I'm just going to duplicate this. And, ooh, sorry, I didn't have my finger on the Alt key still. Bring that over there. And then I'm going to rotate this around 180 degrees. This isn't the best. I'm not a platform level designer, as you can tell, so this isn't exactly the best. But it gives you a rough idea of things you could do. We're going to set the Y value. We're not going to set the Y value. That is roughly 0 for the main part there. So I have that duplicate sort of pattern. That actually isn't on the 0. I lied. There we go. That's more in the center there. But we're going to make one change. We're going to take this platform and we're going to make it much harder. We're going to make this one of our drop platforms as well. So we'll change this to a basic wall. And we will then take a trigger point drop platform, put it on top of there, and we're going to extend this. What was the value of this? This is 625. So take that, 6, 2.5. All right, it's a little bit off. Line that up with the 0. We need to go to probably 5 even. Nope, a little too big. So 4.5. Here we go. That's about right. And then we'll just extend out from the center there. There we go. And let's go to our perspective mode. And we will select this last bit. To make sure this works, we'll do a play from here. And there goes that platform. And this will be the end of our level. Alright. And also to make this a bit more challenging, we'll take this bit and we'll scale it out so that it's wide. There we go. We'll start from here again. So play from here. And let's make that a little bit more challenging even. Let's take this platform again and let's make that taller. So it's a big wall we have to worry about and get the timing right on. So as you can see, you can change some of the settings. Ooh, I timed that poorly, and I'm going to fall to my death. Try that again from the very beginning and see how that goes. All right, so those are my drop platforms, which are still too close. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our top view. We're going to select everything after these drop platforms and move them a little bit farther away. All right, let's try that out. See how that feels. Ooh, that was a bad jump on my part. But with a little bit of play testing and a little bit of tweaking, we can get that to run rather smoothly. I just did a really bad jump there. That was doable. Now, if I had my reset in, I wouldn't have to always reload the level in. So we need to put in our BP end level and do our reset. In fact, actually, we need to move these out further too. So I'm going to move this to about there, so it's lined up nearly center with the other bit. There we go. And finally, we're going to grab our end level, put that in the center there, and then just extend it out to cover the width of the map there, and then do the length of the map. So let's zoom out so we can see getting the length of the map. There we go. Get a little bit longer. And a little bit wider, just in case someone jumps really far sideways by accident. Go to 0.3, hit play, and we have a small problem. Let's go to our left view, and let's make sure this end level is at -3,000. That's -300, -3,000. Actually, I might want to change it back to -300. That might have been a better number to use. There we go. And the lighting is still a little bit off, so we'll take care of that. Oh, that was a drop platform. Whoops. Yeah, we're going to set that to 300, because I think the drop platforms were set to 300 instead of 3,000 by accident. So let's go back into our drop platforms real quick and fix the fall value here. Oh, it's set to 5,000. Okay. It's not falling 5,000, but that will work for us for now. Okay. Now what's happening now that we have these traps in is we need to do one more thing this end level. We need to break this, and we need to actually do what we did in our drop trap. We need to do a begin play, so right click above the on component overlap, begin play. There we go. We need to get the player pawn. We need to cast to the third person player, so third person. Plug that into there. We need to make a reference. So promote to variable, third, or what did I name it in the drop trap? We're going to check here real quick. We named it player reference, I think. Yep, we did. So we're going to keep that same naming convention. We're going to rename this player ref. Again, we'll put this in a folder called references. And we want to check, is it the player that's crossing over? So what was resetting the map was the obstacles were hitting this. And it goes, oh, something's hit me, reset. So we want to make sure this is equal. We make sure it's equal to our player reference. Let's just drag that over there. Get our player reference, plug that into there. Make sure those are equal to each other. And we'll do a branch. If they are equal, then and only then do we want to load in a new level or reset a level. All right, there we go. Now let's test that out. Hit play. Ooh, that was bad form of mine part there. And I just overjumped that. I was doing so much better earlier. Ooh, hit an obstacle, which really threw me off. All right. I am horrible at platformer games, as you can tell, but this is actually a doable level. So that said, let's fix the lighting a tiny bit. Let's grab our light let's go back to our perspective. Let's go to lit. And what we want to do is we want to directional lighting and details. Let's go. And we can be really nice to the player and get rid of the fact that it's nighttime. I like the nighttime look though. And we can change the directional light. I'm just showing you various options you can do at this point. So we have the level set up. I am literally just going through and showing you various things we can actually do. So now that we've done that, let's grab our sky sphere, update the lighting. Oh, actually, I kind of like that too. So let's hit play from here and see what that looks like. There we go. Wow, for some reason it's easier with the lighting. And now that we have everything set up, what we'll do in the next video is set up our menu. I'm actually going to leave it lit so I can see what I'm doing, because for some reason I do better with... I spoke too soon. I do better with this lighting. So in the next video, we'll set up our main menu. From there, we will set up our load and save feature so it auto saves every time someone gets to a new level. And then after that, we will set up our credit screen so that when someone completes the final level and doesn't fall to their death like I just did, that they get, you know, nice little credits. You know, who's made the game and all that jazz. So if you've liked this series and you like watching me fall to my death repeatedly, drop a like down below. And if you want to see any other tutorials, let me know in the comments. Join our Discord community and share your creation, share your platformer. Hopefully it's better than mine. As you can tell, I am not a level designer for platformer games. And... oh, that was sad. And, as always, I hope to see you in the next tutorial. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.